Hi guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to Tech Deals. Today we are taking a look at a comparison of all the chairs we have. Now, you have suggested others. This is what I've got to work with, so this is what we're going to take a look at. So a lot of the questions that have been left in the comments is, I'm so tall, I'm such and such weight, would this be good for me, would that be good for me? I don't know, measure yourself. So I've got a measuring tape here. We're going to measure all the chairs. I've actually got them set at the lowest setting at the moment. Then we're going to raise them up to the highest setting, measure them. We're going to measure thickness. We're just going to measure it so that you guys have numbers, because to be honest, numbers don't lie. So as you can see, we've got the Ewin racing chair, and at the moment that says $249. We've got the Autofull mesh chair, which has been my favorite, but I'm slowly starting to change my mind to this one here. And at the moment, these three on Amazon are $199. Now, the Anda seat on their website is actually $329. So please check the video description below for the links to these chairs and always compare. There is always a better deal out there. Check everything below, and wherever it's the best price, get it there. Let's talk about the builds of them. Now, this by far was the easiest chair to build. The wheels went on super easy, and there's a plate here that attaches this to this, and it's 4 screws. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. So I really like this chair. 1, because it was easy to build. 2, it's very comfortable, and it fits me. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're finding a chair, is you've got to find a chair that fits not only your physical, but also the weight. Now, the packaging that they all came in were very nice as well. They were all well packaged. There was not one of them that was not packaged well. It had foam in it. And you can see the builds that I did of all of these to see how the packaging is. That's why we did it. Now, we have been using them. And before I measure, let me tell you about cleaning. I did have to wipe them down simply because we've been using them. This was the trickiest to wipe down simply because of the diamond things, but it was fine. I mean, I had to get into little crevices, not a big deal. These 3 were very easy. Just get in there and just wipe it off. I had a little bit of water on a paper towel, and they cleaned very, very, very easily. So I was very happy about that. I've actually got these set at their lowest setting. Now, with my leg, when I measure, I'm 19 inches right to the crook of my leg. And this at the lowest setting is actually quite uncomfortable. It feels like my knees are sitting up around my ears. So if I look a little awkward, it's because this is sitting right at the lowest height, and it's not right for me. I need to lift it up a little bit. But I wanted to start them at their lowest settings, and so that you could see, you could compare the height. This one here, our Ewin chair, is the biggest chair, and this is the most comfortable for tech. This one and this one have been the most comfortable for me, and that one, actually, the Anda chair, is extremely firm. I don't particularly care for it, but you know who likes that? Junior Deals. Junior Deals has been helping us film, and that one is actually sitting behind the camera usually, and he's sitting in it going, oh, this is actually really comfortable. And I said, well, come and sit in this one, and come and sit in this one, and come and sit. So he sat in all of them, and that's the chair that he likes the most. So, you know, it's tricky. I can sit here and say these are comfortable, but then Tech prefers this one, Junior Deals prefers this one. So, you know, we do these videos to try and give you as much information as we can so that you can make the best choice for yourself. Handy dandy, let's get to measuring. So at its lowest setting, this is 18.5 inches from where your feet are. So when I sit in this is actually quite comfortable at its lowest setting for me. It could be up just a little bit more, because as I said, 19 inches is where the crook of my leg is at. And if you measure, get your measuring tape and measure yourself. I mean, it probably feels silly, but heck, you're spending a lot of money. Oh, and that's the other thing about that. That drives me a little bonkers that it's not attached. You're spending a lot of money on your chair, so get out your blinking measuring tape and measure yourself. All right, this one, the Autofull chair. 16.5 inches. So that's why this one feels a little weird for me, is because it's very, very low. Now, if you're a short person, then this will be great for you. All right, this one looks like it's 16 inches. So these two are very, very similar. Oh, that 1/2 inch, I felt it. So the Ender chair is 16.5 as well. So that's at its lowest settings. And I'm just going to step aside for a moment just so that you can take a look at how low they are. We're going to raise them all up and then we're going to measure. Okay, I've raised them all up to their highest setting. Now here's what's fascinating about this. All of the chairs, to lift them up and down, you use the lever on the bottom of the chair, right? This one, you have to push down. And I actually said that in the video, is that you actually have to push down. It's a little odd. And yes, I did double check that it was put on properly too. So go figure, but after a couple of times, you'll go, oh yes, push down. Let's measure these and see what we've got. This one looks like it's 22.5, 19.5, 19, 20 for the Ender. These are at their highest height settings. Here's what's interesting when you're sitting at a desk. This one, as for those of you who watch me stream, I've had this at home at my setup. I've got a folding table with a 27-inch monitor, and while this is a low chair, I can get away with it just. Now, having it here at the office and having it at my new setup, no, it's not gonna work. It's actually too low. I have a 32-inch monitor, I have a taller table, and it kind of feels like I'm sitting here like this on this chair. Now, is it comfortable? Yes. Is it tall enough for what I need? No. Ewin chair is the tallest. And when I sit in it, my feet actually dangle. And I showed you that in the previous build video. The Ender seat, that's 20 inches, and that you can tell the difference in the height. Now, as I sit here like this, these are both great, but put them in a desk and that extra inch goes a long way to making it comfortable. Now let's talk about the pillows. You can actually see the lumbar support and the pillow here. On this one, you've got this, and while it's very comfortable, every time you hop up, it does this. I know I could Velcro it or do something, but really, for the money that you're paying with these, you shouldn't have to. That's just my opinion. This one, again, very comfortable, although I do wish that the headrest was actually built in like this. I really do like this. This is comfortable when you're laying back, but I just prefer to have it built in. Now the Ender seat, that's the most interesting of all of them. That backrest is not at all comfortable in your lumbar spine. And actually you just see that I just put it back there. It's actually been removed because it's a little too big. And actually Junior Deals even mentioned, this kind of isn't really comfortable, but once we took it off, it's just fine. So it's going to be your choice if you like a firm chair, whether you want to leave those lumbar support and pillow there for you. I'm going to recline all of these and let's take a look. Okay, you can see that I've got them reclined fully. And I have to say that even though the Autofalls don't recline as much as the Ewin and the Ender, it's still very comfortable simply because of the lumbar rest. They've got the lumbar rest correct, and it doesn't put as much strain on that lower back. The Ewin chair, Tech actually really likes this. And if you want something to recline a little further than the Autofall, then I highly suggest the Ewin. And if you want to recline as much as you can, then you really need to pick up the Ender. Now, the other interesting thing with these chairs is the mechanism for actually how they recline. The Ewin, this Autofall, and the Ender all have the lever. This one does not. Its lever is not here on the side. It's actually under the chair, and you lift it up to release it, pull it back, and then you lock it into place. Now, what I like about the Ewin chair is that it rocks, and it rocks good, and there's nothing actually to bang onto when you are rocking. The autofill rocks as well, but you can see that it actually doesn't have as much freedom as the eWin. And you can actually see that the Ander chair rocks as well, but it doesn't have as much freedom as the eWin chair. Now this autofill chair has a little bit of rock in it, but if you're wanting to rock in your chair, this eWin chair by far outstrips all three of these as far as freedom of movement. And what I like about it is that when you are rocking, it does not feel like you're going to tip over. It feels like a very, very, very balanced chair. So when you're choosing a chair, you want to give thought to how far back you would like your chair to go. I've seen a lot of streamers actually use the recline feature simply because of how they have their setup. They actually have overhead screens and they actually need the recline feature. So if you have a setup like that, then you probably want to more go the eWin chair simply because you've got a little bit more freedom. If you need to go further, then you'll need to find a chair to do that. Now, as far as moving them around the office, it's been just fine. They've wheeled fine, they've moved fine, it hasn't been a problem. The only trick has been the arms, and it's particularly the Ander chair because it's got the in and out feature. And so if you grab it wrong, the arm will go. And actually someone did mention in the comment section about the arms doing weird things when you go to move it. I'm like, I told you so. So you're going to need to grab them from here if you do have one of those chairs. Let's go and take a look and see what these arms do. Let's go and move them all up to high. So there's your autofill mesh. There is your eWin chair. Look at that. And they actually also go back and forth as well. So here I have all of the chairs' arms raised as high as they go. I'm going to step out for a second just so that you can compare them. It's all very similar soft plastic. Now what's interesting is this is flat. This has a little bit of a groove to it, tiny, 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 but it does fit your arms nicely. This is just a slab of plastic. This one I like the most because it actually has a beautiful groove in it, and you can actually see it compared to this chair. That actually is very nice for the arms because your arm just slides in there and it's actually very comfortable. And you can see that the Ander chair is, again, just a slab of plastic. So, you know, there's a lot to take into account when you're looking at your chair. Okay, are you ready for the fun part? I'm bringing the chairs up. I really do want to show you this, and I'm suspecting that a lot of gaming chairs are very similar, but I just want to show you the enthusiasm of these chairs in which they come back up. And a lot of you would have seen it in the build video because I did try to put that in there for you just so that you could be aware, because there's nothing worse than trying to do something and your chair catches your attention. So I'm not quite sure which one to start with. I think I might start with this one because I know that this one isn't too rough. But the only thing with this chair is that you do have to lean a little bit and you kind of do have to search for the lever, and that bugs me a little bit. But once I get my chair to how I want it, I don't tend to move it, so it's just fine. And as you can see there, it came up. Now, if you do want to rock, you can. So to lock it into place, you get it to where you want it and you just push it down and voila! Alrighty, ooh, which one should I go next? I'm gonna go this way. It's not too bad. Okay, so you got to see how each of the chairs came up. Now this one I actually didn't lift all the way When I did it the first time, I did that and I actually nearly flung out of my chair. So you can actually see that this Ewin is just a little bit enthusiastic. My favorite is the Ander. Oh my gosh, I was waiting for that to come up and I'd forgotten that it comes up nice and gently and slowly. There's something else we need to do and you didn't remind me. We're gonna measure the actual thickness of the seat. Why not? So when I measured this, it looks like 3.5. It's not very thick, but it is comfortable. Let's have a look at this one. Actually, this one looks like it's 4 inches. You can actually notice the difference in the plushness of them. It's very similar to the thickness of this. So 4 inches for Ander, 4 inches for here, 3.5. You do notice the extra thickness of this, but the Ander is much firmer. And this is actually quite firm too. See why people don't buy a chair for themselves or just go and buy an office chair at the local office store, because it's tricky trying to manage this, but hopefully this information we're giving you is just giving you a little bit more thought, a little bit more information on how to find a chair that suits you. So here's a view of the chairs from the sides, just to give you a little bit of information that where can you get this if you don't get it in a comparison? You can see the height of the chairs. I've got them all lined up at their highest setting. So here's the back of all of the chairs. You can actually see that they're quite different. You can actually see the height of them as well. I mean, it's fascinating when you sit there and you start looking at chairs, because you can't compare from just one single picture. It's when you get them all together that you can go, oh, I like that. Oh, I need that. I would prefer that. Let's keep turning it. Did you see what happened when I turned that Ander chair? I tried turning it on here and the actual arm moved in. So I'm liking the chairs that just go up and down and maybe forward and backwards. Very similar to the Ewin chair. So just simple features. Now there's one other thing I want to talk about before we go, and that is the actual material of the chairs. The Ewin chair, this autofill chair, and the Ander chair, we've been using them, they've been sitting in the office, and they're tight, they're taut, they look sharp. This one here, I'm a little surprised at, and I don't know if this is just a little glitch in their quality control, but it is not taut. There's actually a little ripple in the material. So I find it a little fascinating and a little disappointing, because this one for me is by far the most comfortable, but I don't know how it's going to hold up. So it's going to be interesting here in 6 months to do another video and just show you. Here we go, guys. Here's what the chairs look like after 6 months of sitting in them. Alrighty guys, this has been the review of the gaming chairs that we have currently. So I hope you have found it helpful. Hopefully it's given you some insights and given you some questions to ask yourself about what you're really looking for in a chair, and actually measuring yourself so that your chair is comfortable. Alrighty guys, like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you love it, and remember to subscribe using that big red button below, and remember to click that bell icon so that you're notified of the new videos that come out. And please do consider joining the Deal Nation, as it does support the channel so that we can bring great content to you. And remember, comments in the comments section, and please do check those video description links in the video description below so that you can find the best deal for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.